All right, you guys, let's get it started then, right?
Because really, what could go wrong once you press record, right?
Exactly. What could go wrong? It's all got to be very perfect. This is another episode of the Crazy People Podcast, and today, Russ and myself have the great honor to welcome Richard Raz Smith to the show to talk about the 1,000 things that he's been doing. I've been knowing this man for what?
Thank you
20
guys
odd
for
years?
having me.
Oh,
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, how long have we been knowing each other? Is it 20 odd years? 90s something?
About 20 some years, probably about 96. Since 96, that's when I first came to Cologne, and I met you and the whole crew. Daniel, Tyrone. Daniel was Snoop Dogg. We used to call him Snoop Dogg.
It still looks like Snoop.
Oh, okay. So it's been about since I came to Cologne in 96.
All right.
I was living in Munich first, and then I moved over to on the border of Holland and Belgium in a place near Liège. I moved over there, and then I said, man, this is too slow for me. And I used to hit every Friday night. I used to hit the what's the club Friday night in Cologne back then in the days, hip hop with Evil Eddie. Schweinstein. I used to hit Schweinstein every Friday night, and Evil Eddie. He says he's from New York, Haitian guy from New York. You remember him?
Yeah. I actually met him in Brooklyn. Would you know that? I met him in Brooklyn at some Spike Lee joint thing.
Okay,
I think
cool,
some Michael
man.
Jackson birthday over in Brooklyn. Yeah.
Well, it's cool, man. So we've been knowing each other about since 96. How many years is that?
Oh, don't even start counting.
I know, man. It's a long time, man.
Yeah, it's just that close to getting an historic vehicle plate. That's
I know, man.
Let's start at the beginning, because I know you from doing 1,000 things, right? Because this man is, Russ, much worse than me. Whenever I've one idea, he has like 10, and he does 3 of them at least. And so give us a wrap up of how you ended up in Germany. What did you do before that? And then let's slowly work into your professional life and the things that we've been talking about last few times that we talked.
Okay. How did I end up in Germany is a long story. And I attended Clemson University on a football scholarship in 89, from 85 to 89. So when I attended Clemson, study at Clemson University, and was also played football there, played as a freshman, played all 4 years. Was part of the #1 secondary in the country, which I played free safety. Then I was signed by Jimmy Johnson with the Dallas Cowboys, Troy Aikman's first year. Hurt my right shoulder. After hurting my right shoulder, I went to a rehab situation, and I waited out a whole year. And then came, I don't know if you guys remember this, in 1991 came the World League, which was part of the NFL Europe.
Mm-hmm.
So in 91, I was drafted as the 22nd player in the World League, NFL Europe. And so I played for teams in America. And then on my trip to Europe, we would do a European leg. Like we would go and we would play a team, like we would play the London Monarchs, Frankfurt Galaxy, and Barcelona Dragons. So when we went to play Frankfurt, man, we stayed there for like a week, and it was a really, really awesome place. I really liked it. And so when I went back to America, I end up this is the true story. My music career, I had to kind of fabricate some things, but this is a true story. The true story is that I met a German girl in Charlotte, North in November of 19 94. I was in a club in Munich, Germany called a Park Cafe. Everybody went to that club on Wednesday night, hip hop, all hip hop, So it was banging every Wednesday night. We was in there. So I'm in there. And so I used to always see this guy, even in the summertime, you see this guy with no shirt on, with a vest, tight pants on, and with a snake around his neck. A real snake. And I'm like, man, who is this guy? And then, because I was like, man, me coming from the area around Atlanta, man, it was kind of like, for me, it was like, man, it was kind of, I don't know, weird seeing this, And so I'm like, who is this brother with this snake on, and stuff around his neck? So I used to see him during the summer when I was with all the other guys. So when everybody left, I actually went to the club and the guy started talking to me. And he said to me, hey man, you ever did Euro dance music? I said, no, man, what is Euro dance music? Then he said, you know this song and that song? I said, yeah, I know these songs right here. I said, yeah. He said, yeah, man, this is the thing. I'm in Euro dance music. I'm in a group now. And I recorded a song for another group, but I can't be in that group because my group is successful right now. So I said, man, I said, I don't know about it, man, but I'm willing to sit down with you. He said, let's sit down, let's sit down and talk. So he took me to this guy who was a manager. Guy was named Heinz Gross. He had a company called Joint Venture Concerts. He was one of the biggest concert booking guys in Germany. So here I am sitting with this guy, and he said, man, yeah, I like his look. Man, they ain't asked me nothing about no rapping, no nothing about no singing, no nothing. Say I like his look. And so I'm sitting there, and so they say, the guy said, Richard, I'll teach you. He was from Alabama, the guy with the snake around his neck. He was in a group called Pharaoh. His name was Dion. His nickname was Cowboy. So they end up selling probably like 1.5, 2 million records, his group. So he said, I'll introduce you to the game and teach you how it goes. You only got to do 8-bar raps. The first song is already done. So you just do the live shows right now, and then later you'll start recording your songs. So he introduced me to the game. And I went into the music game, and from November to Christmas, we were top 3 in Germany.
Wow.
Millions of records sold. So here I am touring around Europe as a Euro dance star. Second song went top 7. No, the first song went not top 3. First song went top 7. Second song went top 3. Album went top 10. So here we are.
And back in those days, that meant real record sales, right? I mean, that was before Napster and all the internet stuff.
Hardcore record sales, just straight up physical record sales, 7 million copies. 7 million copies. Yeah. So the thing is that what the producer started doing, he didn't want me to write. And so I'm like, wow. So because listen now, when I went into Euro dance music, I had came from professional football. So, here I am, I'm touring with Hathaway. What is love, baby? Don't hurt me. I'm touring with I know what I want, and Mr. Vane. Now I got the power. I'm touring with all these guys. So I'm out there. Tour Unlimited. Are you ready for this? So I'm touring, man. And so I really didn't. I'm being real, totally honest. I don't come from Eurodance. I come from hip hop. I come from soul music. I grew up in the town between James Brown and Otis Redding. So I was into a whole different style of music, but they say we'll give you 50,000 Dutch marks in a month. So what do? The story I'm saying is, the story I'm explaining is really kind of like the music industry, which I wasn't a part of. I was from sports.
Yeah.
But I got introduced to the music industry in real time because I had no time to think. I had time to just go into the group, travel everywhere. I'm in Sweden, I'm in Finland. Man, I'm looking at my song in Finland. We in front of Michael Jackson. You're familiar with like I Got the Power, right?
Mm-hmm.
Snap.
Okay, so just a quick rundown on it. These groups basically started in Europe. They was like former soldiers. They were former soldiers, or they were touring singers. Like they was on a hair production or something. They was touring around Europe. So basically, you're talking about hundreds of millions of records were sold in Euro dance music that started in Europe with Americans. and this is something that's crazy that most people don't even know about. But it was good for me because I learned the game, and I sat out for 2 years after I saw what the girl did to me. I sat out for 2 years and I came back into the game fresh. And that's when I met Maurice, because I had my own building in Cologne and my own studio in Cologne, and I own my own publishing company with Universal. So
what was your boy's name again? I forgot.
Huh?
Your boy's name?
My boy?
Yeah, the guy that you did that with.
Oh, Rod. He was in a group called Fun Factory.
Yeah.
Big Rod D. He's in California now.
Okay.
And so we came and took over the city for a minute.
So was that the beginning for you to start on the business side and to really get out of the, let's say, in front of the camera, right? Since we are talking the camera, going behind the camera and going behind the scenes and really becoming organizing and doing the business yourself.
Right. Because I was doing marketing promotion, and I found a group. I found an artist called Johnny Wright. We did a big song that was up and down on Viva TV. And then I did
Rust again. Viva TV was the German pendant to MTV at the time.
Right. Viva TV was the music channel of MTV, and MTV later bought Viacom. Viacom later bought Viva.
Exactly.
So it was equivalent to MTV, and
that's how I got into the music business too, via Viva TV, because a friend of mine produced a show there, and I started helping out on the production side with camera and stuff, and then I later got into editing and so on. And so how that all happened, right? There was like an entire, I would say, epicenter that went to the clubs Thursday to Sunday.
Yep.
And on the other days, we kind of dictated what was happening in the German music industry. It's like Mola, a guy that you're not familiar with, a German TV host, a bunch of groups, and a lot of behind the scenes guys. It was all coming from a group of, let's say, 40 or 50 people that were all involved in those areas, and really for several years actually dictated what was
right. Several years. I mean, props to you guys, man, because when you really look at it, man, you guys was like the first guys I ever saw that was doing the hip hop media business in Germany.
Yeah.
And I, you're trendsetters. I mean, what people don't understand today is like the German rap scene is number 2 behind America. Number 2.
I would probably throw France in there, but
France. But no. What I'm saying is France.
On the money business, yeah.
Right. Because Germany just sells more records.
Exactly.
I'm looking at the numbers, man. You understand what I'm saying? You know, I'm looking at the numbers because Germany gonna sell most records. You know, I mean, gold in Germany when I was around, it was 250,000. You could go 100,000 and you were gold in France.
Yeah.
You know, and then Germany because of the media industry of Viva, of RTL, of Pro 7, Transvestral, and other outlying countries could push more.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Germany is a beast when it comes to the music media world, to be honest with you. When you look at record labels like BMG, which started Arista, which Arista brought you Whitney Houston, Bad Boy, all of the top players that was in America in the day. So all started out of Munich, Germany. That's where they got the financing from.
That was also where Puffy had his record label, right? With BMG, was a subdivision.
And so this is what I found out from working with Germans in business is that a lot of them really don't promote how good they fucking are. I'm being honest with you. I hope this is not a kids channel, right?
It's not.
You know, I mean, they really don't promote how good they are because let's break down something. Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, all started in Germany.
Yeah.
You feel me? Which brought you Justin Timberlake, which brought you Nick and all them guys. You know, Rest His Soul. We did the Bravo Super Show, which you can explain to your partner what Bravo is. We did the Super Show.
That's a youth magazine that was around for decades, and I'm not sure if it is still around, but it's like, yeah, every teenager in Germany for decades over decades, ever since what is it, the 70s or the 80s, read Bravo one time or the other.
Right, even further back to the 60s because Elvis and everybody was in that magazine.
Oh, right, yeah, it's even longer.
And my friend was the editor-in-chief for 25 years, named Alex Gernert. In Munich, and Bravo is out of Munich, the magazine, but the verlag is out of the publishing of Bravo is out of Hamburg, which is the Bauer Verlag, which is a multi-billion dollar company. You know, yeah. So when I did the Bravo Super Show, there was a I think he was about 19 years old. Rest his soul. Aaron Carter was on that show.
Mm-hmm.
And he started his career in Germany, which gave him, he sold millions of records in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and Europe, and which gave him his success in Europe, which could catapult him to the top of the game in America.
Yeah.
Because when you're coming from America with sales like Aaron Carter, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC had, you don't need to beg no record label. You already have the financial backing from that right there.
Yeah.
You know, from that standpoint.
So how did you get from the music business and everything that you were doing in Germany? How did that lead you to InSteps, what you're doing today? And I don't want to precurse anything, but I just want to cross that bridge to what it is that you're doing today. Because from my perspective, other than you being a numbers guy, you having a key eye for business, it's as different as football to music industry, or even more different from football to music industry. It's a jump that you made after that to what you're doing right now.
What I saw was that there was really, I can be honest now. What I saw was that like I said about Germany, what I felt in the culture is that they're very technical people. They're very innovative people. I saw their marketing was light years behind America.
It still is, unfortunately. Yeah.
Right. So, but what I saw that as an opportunity for me, because I saw I could add some American marketing ingenuity into some of the projects in which I was doing. So I end up, my first sponsorship deal was Columbia Sportswear.
Mm-hmm.
So Columbia Sportswear gave me a budget and say, we need an artist to put this on. So here I am, the manager of Backstreet Boy and NSYNC comes over to the office. Boss Ballers on what's that? Freedom. What's that? We was at
Flats.
Freedom Flats.
That's a square in actually, Russ, that's the square of where OX is.
Mm-hmm.
It's like what he's talking about, the building that he's talking about is probably not even 50 yards away from where the OX office is.
Yep.
Just diagonally across that little square that is there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. See, I was in my early 30s, so I really didn't, or late 20s or something. But anyway, I really didn't know what I had. So we had a building there with our studio, the hip hop store. We built a DJ pool. We spent about 200. We signed for 2.5 million. Me and Big Rod from Fun Factory with our publishing deal. And we put about 200,000-300,000 into the store and everything, which we was crazy. We shouldn't have probably even did that. We probably should put it in our pocket. But anyway, so Columbia Sportswear, I met the European marketing director of Columbia Sportswear, and she had these black and white, black or white and blue Columbia Sportswear jacket that had hoods on them. And then they had the Columbia that would go around the top of the hood. And so when I met with the manager of Backstreet Boy and NSYNC, he said, man, you can't touch Backstreet. He said, but NSYNC now, we can put them on. So I put these jackets on NSYNC with Justin Timberlake wearing them. I'll send you a picture of that, you know.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna key
I put that on NSYNC. Huh?
We're gonna key it in so that people can see the picture.
Yeah. So I put that on NSYNC. And then I went on and said, man, this cross promotion I really like. So then now I'm finna bring back some memories to you because you're gonna trip out when I start telling this. So then we met Stephon Youngboom. Okay.
Yeah. South
Pole. We started doing South Pole. We started doing all kind of other brands I never even heard of. We had Volk. What was it? South Pole. It was Mecca.
I can't remember. There were so many of them.
It was so many hip hop brands, and then we had, and then our buddy in Cologne, he had Echo.
Yeah.
What was his name, man? I think it was an Arab guy. He had Echo.
Yeah. I can't remember the name.
I met him through Mola.
Exactly. Yeah. I know.
Yeah.
I think his name was actually Ali.
Ali. Yeah, Ali. Yeah, because they said Ali ended up getting Jam Sports for Germany.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, if I'm not mistaken, he may still have that today. And so when I saw that there was opportunity to do cross promotion in this business, and then I could put my own groups together and I could produce groups. I brought over a crew from Atlanta that was working together with me, and we could produce groups and we could do our own cross promotion deals. I just saw it was an open opportunity because we know we've been doing that way back in the days in America with cross promotion. Started with Michael Jackson getting his hair burnt, you know, even way before then, you know. So all of this right here, I just took it and transformed it over into the European sector.
And Russ, for you as a background, at that time is when we started producing the TV show that we had, and starting with our marketing agency and formed something that's called brand experience marketing. So here we would go to New York recording shows, or to Atlanta or LA or in other cities, and we're fully equipped in South Pole or Echo or whatever. And those companies would send us boxes of clothes every month, right? Mm-hmm. So that's where I had way too many of everything. That's where I still got so many sneakers, right? Because I was used to having way too much of everything in terms of clothing. Yeah. And that's where the business side kind of connected what we were doing.
Right. Because what most people like a lot of time now, the thing about America is that sometimes we're in a box in America because we have everything in America, and we don't realize that there's an urban market, there's a bubbling scene outside of America.
Yeah.
So you're talking about a country of 80-something million people, and then you're talking about 200-300 million people around the country and other countries that are buying products. And in the urban scene, concerts are going on. Like the German rap scene, I've been watching them, man. I seen 15,000-20,000 people at concerts.
Yeah.
And so, this is something where I think the 90s, the American hip hop artists slipped on, because there was brothers like me, you, Tyrone, and that was doing business in Europe, that should have been holding the flagpole for the Bad Boy, the So Def, the Def Jams, and things of that nature. Because if they would have done that, we could have kept that brand going internationally.
Yeah.
And so we lost it. And so here you go, Def Shop. Now I'm gonna tell you a story. You familiar with Def Shop?
No.
Oh, Def Shop is an online hip hop brand in Germany.
Okay.
If you Google it, Def Shop sold for 200 million euros to a venture capitalist company, which is Def Shop was an online hip hop store.
Okay.
Online in Germany, out of Germany, guys. These guys, two Arab guys, started this in their basement, and they sold it to a conservative venture capitalist company from Munich for 200 million euros.
Yeah.
So it just shows you the power of the industry, and so for me, I just saw it was exciting for me, because I saw that the direction in which, when the digital sales came, when the music industry started transitioning from hard copies to digital, the budgets in the music industry start getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
So now I see where I've gone wrong. Because Raz and I were at school at the same time. I was at Penn State. He was at Clemson when Clemson beat Penn State, and I mixed sound for punk bands when I was there. And so as hip hop exploded, I was in New York and I was watching the East Coast, West Coast, hip hop fights and stuff, but I had picked the wrong music genre to start with. So he's played for 3 professional football leagues. He's been in 4 different industries so far, and writing multiple $100,000 checks.
Yeah, man.
And I was on the outside looking in. I see where I went wrong now. So
no, man. The thing is that, like I'm 56. So when I was in my 20s, I was doing one thing. When I was in my 30s, I was doing another. It's kind of like, seriously speaking, man, like every decade, I moved into something different. I haven't even told you what I came from the last year and what we have done, because, but I've been using all my experience and things of that nature. The thing is that what I see, and this is a straight to the point observation of the last 20 something years. A lot of times we in America think that everything is here and everybody just running around this rat hole. Everybody running around this whole rat hole. When you look at the most successful companies here in America, they have international strategies.
Yeah.
They don't have American strategy. They have American strategy. They have international strategies. I give you an example, Maurice. This is the funniest thing I tell people. I say, when Puff Daddy had Bad Boy, he came through Germany, he partied, Europe, all that stuff. But at the end of the day, he pulled something out of Europe and chucked it to America, cross-promoted it, and made it one of the hottest vodkas in the world. Ciroc.
Yeah.
He did that. You see what I'm saying? And cross-promoted it through the music industry. Now, what I tell people is that I say, they say, man, you know, that's Puffy, man. I said, no, the most amazing thing what he did is that he sold you a French vodka. France ain't even famous for vodka. Besides that vodka in Belvedere. France is a cognac country and a wine country. Okay, he made these vodkas number 1, number 2 in the world. And I love cross promotion. I love marketing. I just love the aspect of it. And so when I left Cologne, I went back to Munich in '99, and I went to California, did a radio casting, and I put together 4 girls, 4 different nationalities, and the girl group is called 4 Colors.
Mm-hmm.
4 Colors had the biggest signing for a national group in Germany. The biggest signing, monetarily, money-wise. They were 4 different nationalities. They was on Top of the Pops, which is one of the biggest European music shows.
Mm-hmm.
They was on the Dome. You remember the Dome?
Yeah. Speaking of Top of the Pops, and I'm just interrupting you quickly. Here's a little anecdote. Do you know that I was on Top of the Pops too once? And I had a background thing with Puffy because they were doing a gospel choir, and somehow Penn Entertainment, our company, was organizing that, and they were lacking 1 person. So I threw on the rope and got in the back of the gospel choir and mimicked a gospel singer. If you ever heard me singing, you know I'm a lot of things, but singer is not one of them.
Yeah, but they was filming Top of the Pops in Cologne, right?
Exactly.
So on Top of the Pops, to break it down to your partner, Top of the Pops have some of the biggest artists in the world on, from Seal to Robbie Williams to Take That to you can name it. Some of the biggest artists in the world.
There's a British version, I think, and then there was the German version, and that was syndicated across Europe.
You said something about Penn State.
Yep.
Tell me about Penn State.
Well, you were at Clemson. I was at Penn State. Won the national championship in '86. I didn't play. So I just watched. I cheered them on. But
okay, and we played y'all in '87.
Mm-hmm. Next year.
I was the second leading tackler in the bowl game. Against Joe Paterno.
Mm-hmm. I remember being angry at you for an afternoon.
Oh, it was okay. You know, they always do us like that. You know, They never said we gonna when we played the Oklahomas, the Penn State. You know, we just a little school in South Carolina. You know, and you know, this is something, you know. But John Rosenberg was the coach in Munich that coached at Penn State.
Oh, cool.
That signed me to play for their team. And a lot of people don't know about John Rosenberg. John Rosenberg created Cover 2.
What is Cover 2?
Cover 2?
Defense.
It's a defensive back coverage where the safety go over the top of the corners.
Okay.
And John Rosenberg created this. It's a basic defensive coverage in the pros, in college, in high school. He created this called Cover 2.
Yeah, you lost me there with the football thing. The next thing you should probably talk about is soccer, and my eyes would start glazing over.
Hey man, the interesting thing, I'm finna get to you with soccer. Now the interesting thing is I got a guy. It's a guy, he lived with me in Munich after he didn't do so good on one football team. He had a bad relationship with it. And so I began to teach him to do some different things because he could play the football season there, which didn't pay that much money, but he can go into training football players. So I took and your partner's gonna love what I'm saying when I tell you this. So I took defensive back drills with the position which I played and told him, let's take these drills, implement these drills into a soccer training program. And now he's flying all around Europe and the world coaching professional soccer players.
Okay.
I've now lost count of the
and
different
that was one of
businesses. I've officially lost count of many different businesses. That's amazing. It's amazing.
That was an ideal concept I gave to him, but he was one of my proteges that I taught the business. And he came to Germany in 1995, and he's been there ever since. He lived in Essen, on the other side of Düsseldorf.
Yeah, so, it's a little town about, was it in miles, 60 miles? Yeah, 60 miles away from north from Cologne. Let me ask you this. You took your German connection and your Munich connection, and somehow when we talked a few years ago and brought that over to South Carolina, where there's a certain Munich company that you work with. Mm-hmm. You know, it's just a small little company, mom and pop shop.
Okay. There's 8 universities in the world that's partnered with BMW. Black man wish. No. Bavarian Motor Works. Mm-hmm. So 8 universities, and Clemson University is one of those universities. So Clemson University has a Clemson University International Automotive Research Center, which is in Greenville, South Carolina, which is sponsored by BMW, Michelin, the university, and the state of South Carolina. Now, when BMW is the largest employer in the state of South Carolina, the largest. Not even talking about other companies that came with BMW. So it's the largest private sector employer. So BMW is the largest in the state of South Carolina employer. And so what happened was, when I was in Munich in 2010, I was in Munich in 2010. When I came back to Germany in 2007. I went to America for about 4 or 5 years, and I came back in 2007. I did some work for Bravo and things of that nature. But I ran across these guys that own their own car company, and it's called a Roding Roadster, which is 2,000-pound supercar. And this car is dope, man. It's really, really awesome. The Roding Roadster. And so I went to the guys. I went to an event. My wife said, "Man, you need to go to the events. You need to meet these people." And we was just boyfriend and girlfriend. And I said, I've been in the music industry. I've been to so many events. She said, "You really need to come." So when I went there, I seen the guy standing outside, man, beside this dope car. Ferdinand Hindermeyer. So Ferdinand was standing by this car. And I started talking to him about this car. I said, "Man, guys I play professional ball with, music business, they would love something like this." And he said, no, wait up. He said, "I know, but we're only showcasing the car to show our possibility of transferable technology that we can take from this car and put it in any car." So I said, "Whoa." He said, "Are you interested?" I said, "I'm very interested, because I think I can do something with this car in America." I'm thinking like, I can sell this car to my boys, football player, basketball. I'm looking at it from that standpoint, not knowing that was a whole nother level, which he wanted to introduce to me. And so what happened was, he called me over to his office, and then he started telling me about the car and the technology, how they have worked with Siemens, how they did the doors on the i8 BMW, how they did the doors on the i3 BMW, and how they are BMW students. They went to the school. They were sponsored by the Quant family, the family that owns BMW, and how they was just really big into the designer of our car was from Porsche, and it was just like I was just thrust into the middle of the who's who of the automotive scene, and their focus was carbon fiber technology. So what happened was is that I convinced them to say, look, let me be your expansion partner for North America. Because I'm already thinking my university got a school together with BMW. I could make some things happen fast for them. So within a month, I studied with them for a month. They taught me all about the company. And then I expanded the company over. I expanded over to Clemson University Center for Automotive Research, which is the partnership is a $300 million facility, $200 to $300 million facility with BMW, Michelin, and Clemson University. And so we had an office there. And then I got them their first contract in North America to be on the team to design the new Mini Cooper, to do the carbon fiber engineering design of the new Mini Cooper for 2025. And I got that done because of my connections to my university from that standpoint. And it was a perfect match. Here's a guy who's been 20 some years in Germany, spent 16, 17 years in Munich. And so this was perfect for me. It just all went together at the right time. And so from that standpoint, backing up, before I expanded the company, me and my wife started a company called International Link Me, which was extension of International Music Link, which my first project with International Music Link was me going getting them girls from California and bringing them to Germany. And so here I am now transferring that skill over into the business world. There's always companies expanding left and right, left and right, left and right. And so you got to get on the front end of that. And so due to that situation, we own another company called Bavaria Grill. We own the company that makes the original rotisserie grill for the Oktoberfest. All those rotisserie chickens you see that's in food trucks throughout whole Germany, the company that we represent in America it's the number one supplier of all those food trucks. So we own that company for North America, and we're just getting that started in North America. So we're basically like supporting a lot of the German technology per se, from not a lot of, but pockets of it from that standpoint, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so it wasn't no special sauce or nothing. It just being in the right place at the right time, you know. So,
but it's also being at the right place, but seeing where the cross pollinations work,
yes,
right? Seeing where those link ups work, because you can be in the right place at the right time and not do anything. But you look at this and you go, oh, and this guy over here, and if I could just get them together, they can make something great. That's pretty impressive.
Right. And that's the thing is, whereas that it's so much synergies, international. I love global business. It's so you can find, and Maurice can tell you, you can go to a part of Germany and find a company with some awesome technology, but very small. But they're not braggadocious. And so when you're not braggadocious, when you're entering the American industry, it's like, you know, it's like they're like, man, you don't really have what it takes. You know.
Actually, Russ, I have a story for you. How that conflicted because Russ and I used to work in the same company, and our friend Bob, when he joined, we had these comparisons between features of our product and another product. And you remember the Germans had everything in there, what they could do, what they couldn't do.
Mm-hmm.
We got rid of all the couldn't do. Like, no, if you have that in there for Americans, they're going to be focused on what they cannot do. Meanwhile, the Germans needed to do that because otherwise they thought you were lying, right? So for the American side, we got rid of all the cannot do and just made it a comparison where where we could do things and the competitor couldn't do, right? So we enhanced the marketing from whatever was going on in Germany to fit the American market. So that was some of the fun, right? That's some of the difference.
Yeah, that's cool.
How you have to operate here and what the German mindset is and how you have to actually work globally, which a lot of the Germans don't get when they branch out, right? And vice versa, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Right. And another thing too, what was the biggest thing is that the state was willing to pay. So after I expanded the company, I became the CEO of the engineering company for North America. And then I became the CEO and owner of the company. See, the weirdest thing, man, that Americans cannot understand this. A German can say, I don't want to really expand. American can say, there's 300 million waiting for you in America. Okay? Certain Germans, that don't motivate them. They want to stay right in their circle and do what they want. My company stayed right in their circle, gave me the company for North America now. Gave me the company for North America. And say, you can run it, but you got to run on your own dime. I said, okay. So the thing is that I had to learn when I first got to Germany, what I had to learn was before the language, I had to learn the mentality. We are very motivated in America by money. Period. In Germany, they're motivated by money, but family first. In their private time is, you know, a guy go on vacation, Maurice, guy go on vacation in Germany. You think he gone. He got so many. Hey, man, did they fire? Hey, did they fire Heino? No, he's on vacation. So you know, so a lot of times is that I have to explain to some of my buddies, like he's like, what, man, they could sell so many cars here in America. I said, man, these guys are interested in preserving their product right there in Germany. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It depends on what's the outlook or what that individual person have for the company or what that company has, you know, the direction they want to go in. Mm-hmm. But the state was going to throw a lot of money at them to expand the company. But they in the Germans, and the first thing the German was about the liability laws in America. That was the first thing. Liability. They was like, I said, that's what insurance for. You know, because when they see stuff like a lady get burnt by McDonald's coffee and sue for $1 billion, they see stuff like that and it kind of like, it makes them nervous. And I have to explain to them, you're not the first company from Germany that expanded to America. So there's protection for things of that nature. But what you said to the point was that you can be at the right place at the right time and don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. But I could see it clear as day, you know. And it's another thing that I'm going to talk to Maurice about, you know, what's happening with me now in the future, because there's a big tidal wave that's coming toward Germany. And this tidal wave, we can get on this tidal wave and really make some things happen. It's a big tidal wave that's coming. One of the biggest industries in the world is expanding very aggressively into Europe and Germany, and they got their eye on Germany real strong. And it's coming. And it's exciting. It's fun and it's exciting and it's the next level. And I think you guys probably know what it is.
before we're gonna push this out,
Huh?
let me before we're gonna go and talk too much about that.
Go ahead.
Let me ask you this. So with all the different industries that you work with the very different type of people that you work with, how did you manage to get a connection with them so that they would listen to the ideas that you had? Because many people can go around and have ideas, but not so many of them will be listened to, right? And appreciated and accepted especially in some of the Munich circle, for example, right? That you just mentioned. That is not natural, right?
I made my way in Munich. Let me tell you how I made my way in Munich. See, when I came to Cologne, I had money. So I just put my building up and then put a studio in, and then, we was young. So it was hot. We in the middle of the city. It's banging. You know what I'm saying? So that was easy. That was easy because I already had paid the price by doing some music that I didn't love, which was Euro dance music. But Munich, the thing is with Munich is that I'm being honest with you, what kind of like broke me into a whole nother scene in Munich was that my buddy Alex Gernert was the chief editor of Bravo. So I did projects with him, and I could when I got back to Munich, I had a resume that was crazy. I did one of the first hip hop parties on Oktoberfest, brother. I did some of the place called Prater Insel, which is a very beautiful location on the Isar in Munich. I did the first ever hip hop parties in there. So I showed them that hip hop could be with class and there's not like a lot of crazy stuff. I got in circles by doing things. See, I know there were certain circles that was apprehensive about certain things. So what I would do is that I would even take small locations and I would do events in. And then I would do classy events. Then they start talking about Munich is a city, but it's really a village. So then they would start talking about these things and what was going on. And then my woman now, my wife, she 30 years in the hospitality business. So she got friends that got locations that she can go in and say, look, this is what he can do in these locations. And so we would go in, and when we was at the Prater Insel doing an event right by the Isar, which is the river that runs from the Alps all the way down through the city of Munich, beautiful. And so we had a event at that location, all white, and we had the hip hop people coming dressed up really nice. And they saw hip hop doesn't mean just black people. It was all type of people loving the music that came out to it. So and that got around the city. Then other people wanted to offer me deals and things of that nature. See, I came back in 2007 as a party promoter. It's crazy. Cause I never really liked parties to promote parties because I always seen people lose their shirt. From that standpoint. And so I kind of like start making the noise loud around the players in the city. And then they say, who is that guy? Oh, that's Raz. He was in this group and that group and this group and that group. And then one guy, we have the biggest after party location on Oktoberfest, which is 3,000 people for 14 days. And we have a silver VIP badge for lifetime of his event. And so these are the people that we came to. We did events with them, and they will introduce us to this person, that person. And then my wife comes from the hospitality, which, man, we was at vineyards and the people from, she was even friends with the people from Red Bull. So the marketing office for Europe for Red Bull now is in Munich, Germany. Microsoft, the marketing office for Microsoft. I was supposed to go back to Germany to do a after party for the NFL game, which was played in Munich when Seattle played Tampa Bay. But I couldn't make that because I got some stuff that I'm doing here. I gotta finish, you know. But I kind of like did these things, man, from the ground up, and just made them feel me. It wasn't no begging position. It was from it was from a position of leverage that I could bring the right people on the table. Yeah. So the answer, I just made a short answer very long. I really just did it. Like Nike say, just do it. I just did it. I just did it. And that's what the youth have to understand. If you have a concept and you want to implement it, don't try to do it to the biggest level. Do it to the smallest level and then let it grow. And it'll organically grow, you know, from that standpoint.
I have one more question for you. And that is, since everything that you did, right, it seemed to work out, but where were your biggest struggles along the way of making those transitions each and every time? Because you did a couple of them, right? Or when I say a couple, I mean a lot of them.
100.
And where were your biggest challenges where you were like, okay, I have to U-turn whatever the situation is and come from an entirely different angle?
I take my biggest challenges to the day, and it's trust. You know, my biggest challenge is being amongst people who you can trust and who can see the vision and who can buy into the vision, and we can sit on the table and equally sign a piece of paper and share it. Yeah, the trust with people. That was my biggest challenge, you know, because I know that I have worked myself up to do deals with Procter & Gamble, to do deals with T-Mobile, you know, and I never could build a team to say, listen, man, I don't need 100% of this. I'll take whatever. We just sit down on the table and we can figure it out. But you need teams. I've been part of teams my whole life. So it's really hard to find the teams to work together with and to move into directions, because, man, I see so many things that can be done, that we can be we can be blazing the trail to do so many innovative things internationally and be global players. So I found it from that. Like if you want to know, was there any really, my whole 20 some years in Germany, I probably had 2 racist situations. Seriously speaking, I never really had that many racist situations. I know it's there and it's all over the world, but the bottom line is that I found it very free and breathtaking, the way I could do business and the way I could come into circles, and people got to know my heart and got to know me, and things prosper and things happen and people trusted me with things. So, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, that certain things didn't go wrong. Certain things went wrong, you know, but you have to learn from those things, and then you move into the right direction.
I love the story, and I think the transition from one to another to another to another to another, just seeking opportunity, super motivational. And I love the idea of I just do it by doing it. I think that's really super powerful. If you were to talk to somebody who's in high school and who's, you know, playing football and is going to go to college on a football scholarship, and they're looking at the future where you were back in the late 80s, right? Or the early 80s, late 80s. What would you say to them today? What advice would you give them to be as successful and as innovative as you've been?
Ask the right questions. Don't be afraid to ask the coach. If you're getting ready to go to college on an athletic scholarship, don't be afraid to ask the coach, who's in my position? What opportunity, what chance do I have to play? Do I have a chance to play? Academically wise, I want to study this. Can I meet the academic counselor? Who's going to be over this area in which I want to go into on my academic wise. Be truthful with me when you got a problem. If I have a problem, be truthful with me on the problem. And also, tweeners that's in between scholarship but got great academics, choose the school you want to go to. If you want to play football, go walk on. Go walk on, because your grades can get you at that school. And you can go walk on. Do not go to a school you don't want to be at. That's the most important thing. Don't settle. If you in state and it's not so expensive for you to go to school and you got good grades and you can get grants to go to school, and that, choose the school in your state that you want to go to. Don't settle for less. If you want to go to Penn State, go to a junior college for 2 years you can transfer over to Penn State. If you want to go to Clemson, go to Tri-County Tech right here for 2 years and then transfer over to Clemson University. See, what a lot of kids don't understand is that, and what these coaches, these recruiters not telling them, man, it's more than one way to success in life.
Yeah.
I said life now. I didn't say football. I said life. If you want to go somewhere, you can go there. And that's the most important thing. Just do it.
That's gold. That's gold right there. Yep.
Yeah. Just do it. Because there's a lot going on with college right now with football and everything. There's a lot going on. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's good advice for life. I love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's the perfect ending. There's many roads go to Rome, as you say here in Europe. In I don't know how you say that in the US actually.
Same way.
Same way.
All roads lead to Rome. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess it's Rome, New York, or something. I don't know what it is. So in the US.
Yeah.
All right.
Man.
Hey, Rich, I thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. Giving so much really powerful advice. And I obviously let you know when this is coming out so that you can share it on your end.
I will, man.
But for us and myself and our audience, thank you so much for being on, and take care.
Peace, man. Y'all be good.
Peace.
Ciao.
Take it easy, brother.
Ciao.